You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Hello, everybody. It is time for the Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast. We're going to do some potting, we're going to do some casting, and we're going to talk some wrestling here tonight. We have an exciting show, maybe, because tonight is another Picks episode. That's exciting. I love Picks episodes. The thing that's not so exciting is the pay-per-vent, special event, network special, whatever you want to call it, that we're picking, which is Survivor Series. It's depressing on multiple levels. One, because of, well, the promotion that's putting it on. And two, because I really used to look forward to Survivor Series. Survivor Series and the Royal Rumble were my two favorite wrestling pay-per-views as a youth and as a young man who enjoyed wrestling. Nowadays, I'm meh. I'm meh on Survivor Series. I'm hoping our little chat here will invigorate me and get me excited for this pay-per-view, but I'm not optimistic. I'm also not optimistic about the chances that I have of retaining the Chooserweight Championship. I am in last place. It's not looking good for the Mad King, but this is a promise. I will put my maximum amount of points. I will wager those on whether or not I will be able to stay awake past the halfway mark of Survivor Series. And I'm going to wager that on probably not. Sleepy Boy Ransom is here alongside Hoot the Bard and Tiger Bomb Tom. Beef the Legend is out for tonight. He's doing some Ghostbustering. He's going to go see a movie, and hopefully he enjoys that a lot more than we're probably going to enjoy Survivor Series. Boys, I have to ask, am I just being a negative Nelly, or are you guys super excited for Survivor Series this year?
I don't think it's possible, and this is going to sound very kind of edgelordy or whatever the hell to any like wrestling diehards to WWE. But like for me, dude, I'm going to tell you something. WWE products do not excite me anymore. Not one bit. Like it just doesn't. Like it's so frustrating because like watching it now and knowing all the backstage jiggery pokery and knowing what's happening, and like you watch it and it's just a shell of its former self. It's become this just Vince McMahon play toy, and there's nothing interesting. They're not building new stars. They're letting, like, I mean, just even before the most recent releases, including Karrion Kross and Keith Lee. Like, if you look at the people that they released, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, they did nothing to promise Adam Cole the moon and the stars, and they are so dumb for letting both those guys go. Like,
listen, I do have to interrupt here real quick. To be fair, on the WWE side, they did offer Adam Cole 0 royalties for his Twitch channel, and also they offered him to be a manager for Keith Lee, who is now released. I don't know how much higher you can promise a star the caliber of Adam Cole.
You know, you're right. How dare I?
I would suggest that anyone, if you haven't already, go listen to AEW Unrestricted, and also listen to the Talk is Jericho podcast, where they do interviews with Adam Cole, because he talks about that. I mean, as Jericho would, like, you know, Jericho toes that line with, you know, he's not afraid to shit on on WWE's product if it warrants it. You know, but because he's been there, so he knows how the song and dance goes. But Cole did say, like, you know, there were some things, but he said the most important thing to him was the Twitch stuff. And he knew that if he stayed, he really wouldn't be able to do that. So that was it was real interesting to hear, like, how he decided on it, because everything happened very, very quickly with how his contract came up, and obviously he took the extension to finish up the program working with Kyle O'Reilly. Before the NXT 2.0 rebrand and everything.
I think he did that more as a courtesy to Kyle O'Reilly than anything.
Yeah,
probably.
And it was just it was really interesting. Listen, so if you guys get a chance, go listen to both of those. But in the meantime, to answer Ransom's question, no, I'm actually not really excited for Survivor Series at all. I'm looking at the card, and we're gonna get to that in just a second. It's very just meh. There's nothing that makes me go, wow, I have to watch this match. Like there's nothing that drives me to do that.
And let's not belabor the point that Survivor Series is on the heels of 2 great AEW pay-per-views, and I'm sure next week, whenever Beef is back, we'll talk about this most recent AEW pay-per-view. I know it really comes off like, oh, the P3's just sucking AEW dick and blah, blah, blah. Well, it comes off like that for a reason, because their pay-per-views are fast-paced, they're engaging, they're exciting. There's no real lull in them that makes you lose your focus, and you get engaged in every single match. Because even as somebody who doesn't watch the weeklies, because I don't have that availability right now,
right,
I'm still engaged in every single match that I watch. I don't know the build-up. I don't know the storylines that they've been going through. So it's not like they've engaged me up until this point, and here's the pop-off. These are pretty much fresh matches, because I don't know what's going on the weeklies, aside from when I talk to you guys. But those matches still consistently, each and every time, hold my attention and are exciting and are engaging. And when you can excite and engage a fan who doesn't watch the weeklies and isn't strongly invested in the week-to-week storylines that they're building up, that's just proof in the pudding that you're doing something right. Exactly.
That's one thing I've always said, and I've talked about it before. Wrestling psychology. What are you doing? Not just doing, not putting a match together and not doing spots here and there for the sake of doing a cool move. Like make it make sense. Get me emotionally invested in your character. Like you could come out being a shit-eating heel. Here for example, whenever Rusev was around, and we will get to the picks here, but we digress for a moment, because that's what we want to do. When Rusev was in WWE before, when he first came in with Lana, and he was the big bad foreign bad guy, or
the
whatever.
Bulgarian brute.
Yeah, thank you. I was trying to remember his moniker there. Honestly, it didn't really excite me. I'm like, okay, well, we're back to Cold War times again. Whoop-de-fucking-do. I don't care. Like, there was nothing interesting for me there. I'm just like, okay, you're a heel, and I'm supposed to hate you. Well, I'm not entertained by watching you. Does that count? Whatever. But I think maybe I'm sure I'm not the only one, but I'm at the point now as a fan where I can appreciate a good heel like an MJF, who is a smarmy, shit-eating heel, so who I want to see somebody punch him in the face, but goddamn do I respect him, because there's that tiny twinge of jealousy that goes, man, I wish I could get away with that shit that he's doing. Like, it's, you know what I mean? So it's, it's a multiple thing. I still like them, but I still hate them at the same time. I hate their, I hate their character like I'm supposed to, but at the same time, I respect them as the performer, and it makes me enjoy watching them. So I don't know. That's just me. But in regards to Survivor Series, yeah, it's a pretty thin looking card. As of the Wikipedia, as of this recording right now, we got 6 matches to pick.
I am out of the running.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
Doomed.
A quick rundown of the points, and I think this is all the participants that we've had for this month here. Right now, sitting at the top of the list is Mr. The Legend himself, Beef, with 52 out of a possible 55 points.
Jeez.
From AEW. Full Gear. So there was 10 matches there, so a total of 55 points available. Beef got 52. Right behind him is Denny with 51. Right behind him is allegedly Dave with 49. Then myself with 47. Dos Hermanos Lucha coming on strong with 46. And then there's a drop down to Poot with 34, and Ransom bringing up the caboose with 27. So yeah, it's
Yep.
Doomed. There's going to be some wacky picks coming out of me tonight.
We're the
'cause
bottom.
I'm doomed.
We're the bottom bros.
Doomed. Yeah, not looking good.
So many thoughts just went through my head, and I'm going to keep them to myself.
Yeah, you're
I don't
welcome.
even know why I'm here today.
All right, so here's the matches. I'm going to run them down for you, and then we're going to get into the picks. So I'm going here. I'm starting from the bottom of the list and working my way up because I don't know, because I see like the Survivor Series matches would be more so the main events. There is no actual quote unquote main event announced for this pay-per-view. So yeah, whatever. First match we got, and here's the big lull. There are no title matches. There are champion versus champion matches.
Ugh.
But there are no title changing matches announced as of right now, as of 9:24 p.m. on the date of this recording. So we got Damien Priest, who's Raw's United States champion, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the Intercontinental champion over on SmackDown. He's gonna have Rick Boogs or whatever. I don't know. Is that his guitar player, dude?
Boogs. Yeah.
Boogs. Is that him? All right, cool. All right, I've seen him like once or twice. Whatever, cool.
Yeah, it's
we got
thing.
It's a thing. We got RK Bro, the tag team of Randy Orton and Matt Riddle, not just Riddle, because that's stupid.
Don't call him Matt Riddle.
Yeah, exactly. The Raw tag team champions versus the Usos, who are the SmackDown tag team champions. We got Big E versus Roman Reigns, obviously WWE champion versus Universal champion.
Why?
Because that's what we do at Survivor Series. Apparently, it turns into a big old dick swinging contest. Which brand is better? We got Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, versus Charlotte, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Then
This pay-per-view sounds more like Night of Champions.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. And then our Survivor Series matches, our women's one, it's a traditional 5-on-5 elimination style match. You got Team Raw, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and Carmella, and Queen Zelina, bow down bitches, versus Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, the blackest of hearts, Natalya, and now recently added Toni Storm, taking the place of Aaliyah. So Toni Storm's in there. And then for the men's one, Team Raw is Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory, with MVP in their corner. Cool. Versus Team SmackDown, Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Mr. Xavier himself, Happy Corbin. Apparently that's a thing now where he's not just Corbin or Baron Corbin, he's Happy Corbin. I don't know what I don't know what the fuck's going on. And to be announced, they will have Madcap Moss in their corner. Who the fuck is that? I don't know. I don't watch SmackDown, so
Pretty
sorry.
sure it's Riddick Moss.
Is that who it is? Hold on. Let me look. Oh, it is. It is Riddick Moss. Okay. Why?
Madcap Moss is just straight out of Vince McMahon's fucking dickhole. Like I can't.
Yep.
That
Who is he?
Yep.
Who is he with? Is he with Corbin or something? Or
I don't fuck, man. I honestly, I don't know. Anyone listening to this podcast and you're like, these guys don't even watch wrestling. Why are they criticizing it? Listen, spend some time watching WWE product and you'll absolutely understand why the fuck we're saying this.
Spend some time without cable and you'll understand with a full-time work schedule, streaming schedule, girlfriend and kids, why I don't watch the weeklies. On top of the fucking product is the drizzlingness of shits right now. So
Now stop.
Yeah.
Before we do picks, I just have to say, I understand this card if this was back in the days of Raw versus SmackDown.
Yeah.
When you had Teddy Long as the manager of or the GM of SmackDown, Eric Bischoff as the GM of Raw. They were constantly trying to one up each other. They were trying to have a war of the brands. That I understand. This makes sense in those days. I don't understand it nowadays. I don't understand the whole, we're going to have a Raw versus SmackDown now. Why? Just because? It seems like this is a Survivor Series. We're going to do Raw versus SmackDown just because. I'm willing to bet that after this pay-per-view, there's not going to be any more mention of brand versus brand, Raw better, SmackDown better. Oh, we're going to prove our brand is better than the other brand. Bing, bong, bang. It's not going to happen. It's going to be brand versus brand on this pay-per-view, and then it's going to die. This whole concept is going to be gone. I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, this doesn't make sense to me happening now. It doesn't, because from what I know, aside from between the last pay-per-view of WWE's and now, there hasn't been like a war between Raw and SmackDown. There used to be, and this would have been relevant then. It's not relevant now. Why are there no championship defenses? Survivor Series of the past, we used to have champions defending their titles. Now it's just, put these two mid-card champions against each other. Put the tag champs, put the world champs against each other.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense to me, and I don't understand why they're doing it.
And also another thing, when they did the draft, it would have made more sense if they did Survivor Series and did the draft afterwards, because then like whichever brand did better in Survivor Series could have like advantage in the draft pick or something. I think that was a thing at one point, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Or they could have, if they would have even done the draft, and from the get-go of the draft, had Raw pitted against SmackDown. Oh, well, after the draft, look at our brand. This brand, the red brand, is gonna be so much better than the blue brand, or the blue brand is gonna be so much better than the red brand because of what we've done here in this draft pick, and we drafted this top star. Nothing, none of that.
None of it.
So it doesn't make sense for this to be happening now. Stop bitching. Let's do picks. I can't.
Let's do it. My heart can't handle it. My heart can't handle it. All right. I'll lead us off here with the Damien Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura.
You said we have 6 matches, so a total of 6, 1 to 6 points.
Yeah, 1 through 6 points. I will have them marked down for us. I'll keep track of your stuff for you.
Thank you.
Let's see. So in this case, let's see. I guess I'm gonna go with Damien Priest. Why not? And I'll put 5 points on it.
Tom?
Yeah.
How many points do we have to wager? Like, what's the range?
1 through 6.
Okay, 1 through 6. All right.
Yeah. And actually, you are up next, good sir.
Okay, it's Damien Priest and
Shinsuke Kaka Pee Pee Puncher.
Kaka Pee Pee Poo Poo Puncher. I'm gonna put for Damien Priest. I'm gonna put. You know what? I'm gonna get weird. We'll say Cock Nakamura, and I'm gonna go ahead and put 4 on it.
Oh.
Okay, Ransom.
Damien Priest, 6 points. There's no Damien Priest is on a rocket ship, and this is why me picking this is wrong, because Damien Priest is on a rocket ship, and there's no reason he should lose.
Right.
He should be winning matches, being elevated, shooting to the top. So he probably won't.
The moon.
To the moon. So he probably won't.
Right.
He'll probably get buried. But nonetheless, I'm wagering this on Damien Priest because I believe that this is the right thing to do.
Okay. Next match we have is RK Bro versus the Usos. Poot, you are up first, good sir.
I'm gonna go with the Usos for 2.
Okay, Ransom.
RK Bro, 4 points.
All right.
See, I'm the one who's getting weird with it. I'm like, let's just see if I can get last.
I don't see any reason why the Usos don't win. You got to protect the bloodline. So I'm going to go with the Usos. And I'm going to put my 4 points on this one.
See, now the reason I didn't pick them is because if they're going to protect anybody in the bloodline, they're going to protect Roman Reigns. The Usos have been, at least when it comes to the Usos being involved with Roman Reigns, they've pretty much just been cannon fodder. Like,
Yeah.
they show up to take the beating and let Roman Reigns get the win. So I think if anybody in the bloodline is going to be able to eat the loss,
Yeah.
and have everybody go, who cares? It's going to be them.
I also think though, because at least from my understanding, I don't know, because again, me no watchy weeklies. I would assume that a loss here for RK Bro could kind of start to unravel them, and then that's a way that they can move the tag titles off of them onto whoever else, whatever other team on Raw. I don't know, maybe not. But
Well, it's getting to be that season where we're going to be coming up on WrestleMania, so I'm sure they're going to have to break them up sometime before then, so Randy Orton can be in a title match at WrestleMania.
yeah. Or have a singles match with Riddle with no implications whatsoever other than let's put Randy Orton in a WrestleMania match and have him go over on Riddle anyways. So
And plus, too, I think this pay-per-view is going to be the one where Randy Orton breaks the record of most pay-per-views of any WWE superstar.
really?
I think right now he's tied with Kane at like 100 and something.
Wow.
And this pay-per-view will put him over that. This will be the record now. So I guess also my line of thinking is they're going to give him a win here, because that's going to be a big talking point from the announcers is,
Damn it.
Randy Orton breaking the record for blah, blah, blah pay-per-view events, and he's going to pick up the win.
That's a good point. I didn't even know that. That's good knowledge there, Ransom.
I read that somewhere. I don't remember.
Okay. Moving on, we got Big E versus Roman Reigns. Ransom, who you got?
Roman Reigns, 5 points. Well, maybe not. Maybe Big E, because this is an opportunity for Roman Reigns to take a loss without having to worry about him losing the title. Oh, poop on a log. I didn't think of that until just right now.
That is a good point. I don't know if they're ever gonna make him look weak at all, even in a non-title loss. Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, that is a good point. They do like to protect some people because of.
Come on,
some
Ransom.
reason.
You know the answer. Answer.
Apparently, Samoan Dick tastes very, very good because they are sucking the hell out of it.
It's Big Samoan D season. All right, I'm picking Big Samoan D for 5 points.
Oh, Christ.
Was that the right answer, Poot?
Yep.
He said 5 points.
I did 5 points.
All right. I'm also picking Reigns. That's gonna be my 6-pointer. Because why not?
Lol, Roman wins 6.
Pretty much.
Oh, Poot, that answer slayed me. Oh, lol, Roman 6.
Yep.
Oh.
The next match we have is Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair. I'm up first. Anytime I bet against Charlotte Flair, I lose. So I'm picking Charlotte. And oh god, I guess I'm gonna put my. This is one where I'm not really sure. I honestly, because Becky did just come back, and they're kind of making it a big deal. I'm still gonna pick Charlotte, but I'm gonna put 1 on it. I have a weird feeling about it, but I know never to bet against Charlotte for the over under. So, Poot, who you got?
For me, it would be Becky with 5.
Making moves.
She's a recent mama. She's just back. Why not? Like and she's Seth Rollins' baby mama. So like, yeah, we're gonna say this could be one that Charlotte could actually lose. Plus, Charlotte is in the doghouse.
Yeah. All right, Ransom, who you got?
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say Charlotte with 4, and
You already used 4. Would you like to use 3?
I would use 3.
Okay.
I think this is the one. This is a toss-up for me. I believe that Poot makes a very salient point in everything that he said. My only hesitation on it is Charlotte.
Yeah.
And despite her shitty attitude as of late, I think WWE will want to make her happy because, as Beef alluded to on a previous episode, he does believe that she's the linchpin of the women's division. And if that truly is the case, I don't think they're going to want to add any more fuel to her anger fire. And I think if they're just going to be like, well, you're going to lose to Becky clean, here you go, that's not going to help to improve her attitude. And I really believe that Charlotte is one of those people where they're going to want to do whatever they can, company-wise, to help improve her attitude and to help make her happy so that she sticks around. Because she's got everything to gain from leaving. She's got leverage. Her hubby is somewhere else. And if she were to go to AEW, I'm sure, despite my desire, she'd be a big freaking deal if she went to that women's division. It would really help to bolster it up. So I think they probably want to do whatever they can to help make her happy. So that's why I'm picking Charlotte.
Gotta suck that lady, D.
Gross.
Yeah, well, she is.
Yeah,
so.
you do.
Yeah, also true, Tom. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Next match is our first of the Survivor Series traditional elimination 5-on-5 matches. So it's the women's Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, and I'll give you the participants again. Team Raw, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina versus Team SmackDown, which is Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, Natalya, and Toni Storm. Poots, you are up first.
I'm going to be an asshole. Run those by me one more time.
No, that's fine. You're fine. Team Raw is Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina. And Team SmackDown is Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, Natalya, and Toni Storm.
Man, this is a tough call. I'm gonna go with Team Raw for 1.
Okay. Raw women. Giggity. 1 point.
Raw women indeed.
Ransom.
This is a tough fee for me too. But when I look at Team SmackDown, aside from Natalya, I feel like they should win because you've got Carmella, Zelina on Raw. You know WWE loves to put the screws for some reason to Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Why? I have no idea. But it seems like those two ladies are just constantly getting the screws put to them.
Right.
Despite the massive amount of talent they bring to the table. So I really think that I think that it's probably going to wind up being Team SmackDown, at least just based upon participants and the caliber of quality that they have. So I'm going to say Team SmackDown for 1 point.
Back women. Don't do that. But unless they give you consent for 1 point.
Smack that down.
I'm curious. Isn't Rhea Ripley still the women's tag team champion along with Asuka? Is that still a thing? So I'm just wondering.
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. And also, where the hell is Asuka?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like,
not on this stupid pay-per-view. If she's on the pre-show, I'm gonna poop my pants.
Where the hell is Asuka? Nowhere to be found. I don't understand it.
Yeah, they're really doing my future ex-Mrs. Poot Raw here.
Yeah.
Well, again, this goes back to the whole theory of she was made in Triple H's NXT. Therefore, on Vince McMahon's main roster, she's not valued.
Yeah. In this case, I think I'm going to go with Team Raw. I don't know. I have a feeling there's more pushable people there out of that bunch than there are on the SmackDown roster. Because God knows they haven't given Shayna Baszler a fucking fair shot in forever. Shotzi's too new. Toni Storm's too new. So they're going to have them Myra in mid-card obscurity. So they'll probably be the two first eliminations from Team SmackDown. Natalia is Natalia. What can I say?
She'll be the last one eliminated.
Probably.
Because
probably.
Who knows?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Raw Women.
I don't see that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I'm gonna go with Raw Women. I'm gonna put my how many what do I have left? I'm gonna put my 3 points on that.
See, I when I look at the SmackDown roster of this women's match, you've got Sasha Banks.
Right.
I know I've chat on her in the past, but anymore, like I think I've come around on her on the talent that she brings to the table. You have Shotzi Blackheart, which again, there should be a rocket on her back. Liv Morgan, there should be a rocket on her back as well.
No, Liv Morgan's on Raw.
Who's the other one?
Toni Storm's on Team SmackDown.
Toni Storm, that's the one.
Yeah,
there should be a rocket on her back. Yeah. Should be a rocket on her booty. And then freaking Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler should be able to take on in the entirety of Team Raw and win without breaking a sweat.
Good. So
because of that justification, there's really no reason why Team SmackDown should win. I'm sure they're probably going to lose.
Good thing you only put 1 point on it, right?
Well, I mean, I'm fucked either way for this month, so it doesn't really matter.
This is true. None of this freaking matters.
None of this matters. My freaking car. When you look at it logically, Team SmackDown should be winning this because of the talent that they have, not to mention the badassery they have. So I'm sure they're going to wind up losing.
Yeah. All right, and then last but certainly not least, rounding out is the men's Survivor Series elimination match. And Ransom, you'll be up to pick first, so I'm going to run these by you. Team Raw is Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory, with MVP in their corner, if that makes a difference to you. Whatever. Because where Bobby Lashley goes, MVP goes. He's like the little My Buddy doll, Yep. Whatever. So that team, Rollins, Balor, Owens, Lashley, and Austin Theory, versus Team SmackDown, which is Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Xavier Woods, Happy Corbin. I can't say that. And to be announced. And they will have Mr. Madcap Moss in their corner. Fucking the worst. That's almost as bad as Ice Dagger. Good lord.
Oh no. So
Ice McFang. What was it?
Frank McFrost. And Ice Dagger. So poor Stone Cold.
I know.
So this will be my 2 points.
Right.
This is another toughie for me because I'm trying to use logic, which you should never, ever. Here's a top tip. P3 top tip for anybody that's listening. Never try to use logic when it comes to WWE match decision making because it will backfire on you every single time. Every time, guaranteed to backfire. That being said, who's the second team you announced?
Team SmackDown. It's Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy.
Okay, stop there. So Team SmackDown's probably going to win because Jeff Hardy's on that team. And for some ungodly reason, probably because he was a Vince McMahon guy from start to who knows when he'll finish. They love to give Jeff Hardy the rub. Look at who he beat on their debut match on the main roster.
We don't talk about these things.
Nope, I'm not going to say names because that's heresy and we don't want to do that. But I don't understand why. All the drugs, all the alcohol, all the intoxicated driving doesn't mean a lick of difference. Jeff Hardy is still the man. So they're probably going to win. But they shouldn't, because when you look at Team Raw, you've got Finn Balor, which right there tells me they're going to lose. Because poor Finn Balor. Please leave. Please get out. Please do what's best for you and get out of this war-torn country and go to the land of the free. So they're probably going to lose because Finn Balor's on their team. Kevin Owens, he should be winning, which tells me they're probably going to lose. However, I'm going to pick Team Seth MacFarlane because I think, and again, this is logicking, which Bad News Bears don't do. I think if they're going to put Charlotte over Becky, they're going to give the Rollins family a win somewhere, and this is probably where they'll do it. Seth Rollins' team will probably go over because Becky's probably going to lose to Charlotte.
Not a bad theory.
It's going to be wrong.
So no. I mean, this is my 2-pointer. I'm picking Team Raw, and simply for the fact I'm looking at the card, and I've got three different SmackDown people winning already, and normally Team Raw has always dominated or at least won out over Team SmackDown. In recent Survivor Series stuff. So I think the there's a chance for a good 3-3 split.
Keep those networks happy.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. I just don't see I don't see anybody from Team SmackDown that they're going to strap a rocket to their back except for Drew McIntyre if they're going to do it. But that being the case, I could see potentially I could see Roman Reigns winning his match, and then somewhere on on the next SmackDown after this event, somehow he talks shit to Drew and is like, well, you couldn't even lead your team to victory, and that starts a program with the two of them. But bing bong boom.
Yep.
Doesn't matter because Roman wins until WrestleMania anyways. So fucking whatever. Team Raw for my 2 points. Put us out of our misery and bring us home.
Team Raw for my last number, which is either 2 or 3. Can't remember.
It is a 3.
That's going to be 3 for Team Raw. Pretty much, I don't want to exist in a world where Happy Corbin wins.
That's a very fine looking point.
Yeah.
So,
right,
tick me Elmo this.
What's that?
We don't need to run down who picked what. There's no last call. Listen to the podcast and pay attention if you want to know which one of us picked what.
Good point.
So, riddle me this, Batman. The mystery...
Matt, riddle you this?
The TBD. One of my favorite picks, the TBD.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is going to be a surprise
John Cena
arrival? Is damn it, Poot? Well, I would laugh my ass off if that actually happened. That's not outside the realm of surprisability. But I guess my question is it going to be somebody new and exciting? Or is it just going to be somebody that has been around, and they put the TBD in there to get you Like, ooh, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Because AEW likes to put in those TBDs and have it be somebody new and exciting and get everybody all wound up and crazy. So I could see WWE pulling the same shit. It's going to be a TBD. It's going to be a TBD. And John Cena. Or somebody else that's already been on the stupid roster.
Oh.
On the weeklies. And it's nobody exciting.
You know what? I honestly have no idea, but I want to go back to something that I asked, and I just answered my own question because I'm looking at the superstar list. No, it's Rhea Ripley and Nikki ASH that are the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, not Asuka at all. So
that makes so much sense.
Reggie, Mr. Reginald is the 24/7 champion currently, although our Pittsburgh's own Corey Graves, I believe, somehow got it there for a brief moment. So,
yeah, he won the joke title.
Yeah, pretty much.
But let's just talk about that just for a second here. Yeah, poor Corey. So Asuka, who, without argument, at least no argument that I will entertain, is one of their top performers in the women's division.
Yeah,
she's outstanding. Not on the pay-per-view as of yet. This is Thursday night. The pay-per-view is Sunday. Not announced. One half of the women's tag team champs, not on the show. The other half is, but like, I get it. Nikki ASH, kind of like a ha-ha thing. But at the same time, she's one half of the women's tag team champions, not on the show. Like, that doesn't make any sense for me to have one tag champ.
That's the problem. That's the problem. That is that the women's tag belts to internally in WWE is a ha-ha thing.
Oh, well, that makes sense then. That makes sense.
Shouldn't be. They have even though with releases and everything, they have all the talent in the world. They have wonderfully talented people. They have solid performers and everything. But you know what? Doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I don't understand that. Like, I feel like that's the one thing that WWE could really hitch their horse to, is that they have the best women's division out of any promotion that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
Just the best. They have the best performers in the women's division out of anybody. And even AEW. AEW has a decent women's division. They have room to grow. And you know how we love to suck the AEW D, but in this case, WWE should be blowing every other promotion out of the water with their women's division because of the talent they have.
Right.
But they don't utilize it. They don't. I don't know. And I don't want to use the word exploit because it sounds like a negative term, but they should be exploiting the fact that they have the best women's wrestlers in any wrestling promotion, like, as a whole. And they don't. And I don't understand why. That should be a cornerstone of WWE, their women's division. But they love to do these ha-ha things, like the women's tag titles and freaking Doudrop. Every time I think of her, I get more and more pissed. Because they put so much time and effort behind freaking Nia Jax, who is arguably the Goldberg of the women's division. Terrible, hurts other people, just a snooze fest. And they pushed and pushed and pushed her. Now she's released. They have Doudrop, which they bring her in and give her this insulting name when she used to have a fucking badass name like Viper. And she's a woman that can wrestle. Like, she's a bigger gal, but dear Lord, she's a hell of a wrestler. She looks safe. She looks crisp. She doesn't hurt people. Hey, let's bring her in and give her this jokey name like Doudrop. You're not doing it right, WWE. You're not doing it right. Like, you should be bringing in women the caliber of Viper. I refuse to use her WWE name anymore. You should be bringing her in and just having her wreck people. But you don't. You bring her in, you give her a jokey name, and you make it a ha-ha thing. I hate it.
Well, no, and that's the problem, is that it's not even dewdrop, it's dewdrop.
Oh.
It's one word, isn't it? It's like dewdrop.
It is. It's DOU drop, like all together.
Yeah.
Dewdrop.
And
Stupid.
I don't get it. You know, like, I feel like there's a little bit of Stockholm syndrome with these wrestlers who get hired by WWE. And like, what? Because they're like, well, I'm working for WWE, and I mean, they've built a lot of stars, so I might as well go with the name Dewdrop.
Oh.
Keith Lee going, well, this Bearcat thing is gonna work. Like, I get why they did the Bearcat thing, and I'm not trying to beleaguer the history of wrestling, but like, just all you have to do with this round of talent, this kind of generation that was in there, is leave them alone.
Yes.
Leave them alone. I always, and the thing, kind of trying to stay a little bit centered on Survivor Series here, is the fact that, like, I used to love Survivor Series. I thought it was cool because they would throw a random mishmash of faces and heels against each other, and it was always kind of fun. You know what I mean? To watch Vader have to work with, you know, to like have to be in a match with Sid and Shawn Michaels. Like, you know what I mean? Like, now it just feels it just feels stupid. Like it feels like a filler, and it's one of the big four. Like, it's one of the big four, and we don't view it as one of the big four anymore. That's the sad part.
It doesn't feel like it. I mean, not with a card like this. It certainly doesn't feel like it. While you guys were chatting there, I was looking through the Raw and SmackDown rosters to just try to get an inkling of, has anybody been injured lately? Like, who could be the TBA for Team SmackDown? And I got to be honest, I have no idea, because I feel like some of the people that we don't have listed on there, like, okay, so first of all, I don't think it's going to be Angel. I don't know why they dropped the last name Garza, because that's a fucking Vince McMahon thing he likes to do. So we're just going to call him Angel. I don't think it's going to be him. It sure as fuck isn't going to be Drew Gulak. Maybe Cesaro. I don't know why he isn't already on the card, because it's Cesaro, so he should be, but whatever.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be Eric or Ivar. That would make no sense. But then again, in WWE, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to be white-faced baby meat Humberto Carrito.
It'll probably be stupid Dominic Mysterio.
No, he's over on Raw. Along with his pops. I mean, what?
All right, guys. So, breaking news from Beef. You know, apparently the movie hasn't started. The movie might not be interesting enough. Who knows? But Pro Wrestling Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk has learned that WWE have released John Morrison, Top Dollar, Ashante Adonis, Isaiah Swerve Scott, so basically Hit Row, Tegan Knox.
Jesus Christ.
Wait for it. Shane Thorne, Jackson Riker, and Drake Maverick.
Wow.
Now, obviously, John Morrison is the most, legacy person there.
Yep.
But John Morrison's been back with the company for what? Maybe a year and a half?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, he was back there with Miz.
Yeah. Johnny Drip
Miz,
Drip.
Was the Johnny Drip Dick.
But like the thing is, they basically released the entirety of Hit Row, which I'm like, listen,
they just brought them up.
They just like,
what the fuck is going on?
And like Tegan Knox, why would you get rid of Tegan Knox?
She's actually good.
It really feels like WWE. I think Beef has a point. He said it in our group chat a while ago. I really feel like WWE is setting the stage for a sale.
I've been saying that too. I think Beef and I have been on the same page. I've been saying for a while that everything that they're doing, they're trying to make it money wise look as pretty as they can for a potential buyer. It screams sell. Like that's I don't see how it's leading to anything but this, because why would you be getting rid of all this talent when you know, and I don't care, you sit there and tell me that Vince McMahon doesn't view AEW as legitimate competition. If he truly does not, he's a fucking moron. I don't care how long he's been in business for, he's a fucking moron if he does not think that AEW is going to take, look what they've done. I know this is I'm on my soapbox with this, but for all the fucking WWE diehards to go, or anybody that's so anti AEW, like, well, all they're doing is taking old WWE stars that got fired. You know what? You could say the same thing for WWE taking wrestlers that got let go of out of any other promotion, out of Impact, out of Ring of Honor, out of New Japan, or whatever. I honestly, if you really look at the current roster of WWE superstars, some of your big names right now: Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens. Where did they come from? Ring of Honor. Like, I saw somebody try to make that argument. It's like, well, AEW wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for the former WWE superstars that they have. I'm like, you could try to make that argument for any fucking company. Shut up. But this makes no sense to me. Why Vince and company would release all this talent they just brought up from NXT.
Yep.
Only to just go, nope, fuck you. I guarantee you that, depending on what their non-compete clauses are or anything like that, man, you're gonna see them wind up on AEW or Impact like sooner rather than later. And I know, I know we've shat on Impact before because we're kind of like, it's Impact. Like, who knows what's going on there? Who really cares? Because they've kind of always been like
out there.
They've kind of been a more bottom tier in the. Well, I mean, there hasn't been many other companies or anything like that. It's literally for the longest time now, until AEW came along, it's been WWE. And then on the next tier down, which is definitely way down below WWE, was Impact and Ring of Honor. And somewhere New Japan's in there, but not a lot of people are antiquated with New Japan because it's fucking in Japan. The average fucking Joe Schmo, casual fan isn't going to be as familiar with them. I don't know.
Take a look too at these, past few releases.
Yeah.
It hasn't been legacy guys that have big fat money contracts that are getting up in age and are, at the over the apex of their career.
Yeah.
It really hasn't. It's been a lot of young, newer, up and coming stars.
Right.
And as much as WWE likes to talk about, like, oh, this NXT 2.0 is going to be, stars of the future. We're going to build and cultivate these stars. We're going to bring in wrestlers of the future, blah, blah, blah. They're cutting. The majority of the people they're cutting are young, new, fresh faces to WWE.
I'm surprised that Ridge Holland didn't get the fucking axe because he just came up.
Give him a minute. Next month, there'll be another wave of cuts next month.
I'm honestly surprised. That Ricochet didn't get the cut because, I mean, fucking, how they love to shit on him.
He'll get it. Like,
the thing is, if Ricochet got cut, my God, he'd be able to go anywhere and make all the money. God almighty.
Absolutely.
Like, he could go back to Japan. He could go to the UK. He could go to Impact. He could go to AEW. You name it. Like, that's the thing. It's like and the problem is that, like, the casual fan wrestling zeitgeist looks at Ricochet as like just another flippy boy. But he's so much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
now,
I mean,
think of it also this way, though. This is a good thing. All these cuts, this is a good thing because these guys are going to have the opportunity to not only seek out AEW, but this gives Impact the opportunity to pick up a lot of these people who are young, hungry, and especially now that they've been let go, have a desire to prove themselves, to say to the WWE, look what you missed out on. Look at the opportunity you have, and you cut me loose. If these young people go to Impact, I feel like that's just going to be a way for Impact to become elevated. They're going to get these young, hungry stars who have been to the quote-unquote mountaintop and have been let go. They're going to have something to prove. And when they take their talent, their young talent, this isn't going to be the Impact of old, where you had Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Jeff Jarrett and all the old timers going from WWE to there. It's not going to be WCW 2.0 again. Impact is going to pick up a lot of young guys. And if Impact continues working with AEW, you'll be able to see these stars not only compete on Impact, but also jump over and compete on AEW without being signed there.
Yep.
This is a wonderful opportunity, and I really do hope that Impact can capitalize on it. Because if they can bolster their roster with a lot of talented young individuals. And while WWE has all these old heads that you're sick of seeing, Randy Orton in another title match for the WWE whatever title at WrestleMania, you're going to see these new guys who didn't get a chance to shine in WWE going to Impact, shining there, going over to AEW and working with AEW talent. It's prime opportunity for these other companies to fill their roster with great talent and show WWE you dropped the ball on so many different occasions. I'm hoping it turns out to be a very good thing for not only these guys, but for these other companies. I hope it bolsters their product. I hope they get better.
Yeah, because whenever all the products are doing their best, we all win as fans, and so do the wrestlers too. Because honestly, like, who wants to be in an environment where you aren't inspired to come to work and you're just kind of going through the motions?
I think we've all dealt with that song and dance in our own lives.
Oh my yes,
I mean,
absolutely.
Oh my
I
yes.
mean, so I mean, obviously, like, if the product's doing better, you're more inspired. There's a fire lit under your ass to go out there and, hey, top that. And you do, and it just keep a game of one-upsmanship, and it all you can do is just keep pushing each other to, as a company, have those locker room leaders saying, hey, you know what? Good fucking job. Let's do it even better next week or whatever, like, it's just.
Not to mention the fact, too, that I'm willing to bet a lot of these young stars, a lot of these young, I don't want to call them superstars, because that's kind of like a slave title. A lot of these young wrestlers probably have great ideas for where they want to take their character, what they want to do in the ring. Ideas that would not have been fostered in WWE. Because, let's face it, the WWE storyline machine gives you a storyline, and that's what you do.
Yep.
They take their ideas elsewhere along with their talent. It only has the potential for them to grow.
Right.
So let's hope that happens. Let's not see this as a negative, like, oh, WWE cut another bunch of these people. Like, oh no. Let's see this as a good thing. You're free. Now you can take your talent and your ideas elsewhere and prosper.
On that particular note, there's one thing I want to mention real quick. Another episode to go listen to if you get a chance. I forget if it was on AEW Unrestricted. I think it was on Unrestricted. That's usually with Tony Schiavone and Aubrey Edwards. They talked to Tommy End, aka Aleister Black, and he talked about how the difference in going from having these scripted promos handed to you or anything like that to having something where, like, now I think in NXT before the rebranding and stuff, before he got brought up to the main roster, a lot of times they would give him bullet points at least from my knowledge, if I took it away correctly down there, with NXT of old, certain people, and especially for him, they would give him like bullet points and have him, kind of do his thing or whatever. I think that's kind of what they're also doing in AEW. In a general sense, which is something that we've preached on forever. Just do that and let the wrestlers come up with the rest. But he said for him, being somebody whose primary language actually isn't English. It is
help
me out, Poot. He is what Dutch.
Who's that? Oh yeah, he's from Amsterdam, so like Holland Dutch. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's actually, his primary language. I mean, he is bilingual, but for him to sit there and read this printed out English script and try to make something of it, like try to memorize it and try to process it all, is actually, much harder for him. Whereas if you just kind of give him these bullet points, these talking points, and let him kind of come up with the rest or whatever, he personally can process it easier. And I think that's something like, I think regardless of whatever company you're in, that's however that talent is best able to learn and express themselves. Maybe some people do better with scripted promos. If that's the case, give that to them. Have them come up with the bullet points and have your writers go hammer out these scripts for them. If somebody does better, on the reverse end of the spectrum, do it that way. Do whatever is best for your product. But the unwillingness to adapt and to bend and to change and to say it's my way or the highway and this is what we're going to do because I've been doing this for 50 plus years and I know everything. That's just fucking asinine and archaic.
Well, and but the problem is you're dealing with someone who is asinine and archaic.
I know.
But that's kind of the problem. It's like and the other thing is too, Tommy End is very fluent in English. So like I don't think that would be a factor for him, but there's people like Asuka, like Shinsuke Nakamura. Like
right.
You let him like, and even Andrade, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. From listening to him on the podcast, when he talked about it, he said that was like one of his things. Like, even though, yes, he's very fluent in English, like you wouldn't think that you don't notice and the degree of difficulty in understanding him or anything like that, like a Shinsuke or like Asuka or anything like that. It's still in his brain processing that stuff when it's just a big scripted promo that he has to memorize it all or whatever. It's, he said there is a degree of difficulty. It just baffles me that now in this day and age with everything, just with, I don't know, a better understanding of human psyche, that we wouldn't figure it out. Hey, you know what? If this person is more of a visual learner, let's make sure that we have them, try to adapt to that. Or, if they learn better this way, okay, let me relate it to them this way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but again, that's the mentality that a reasonable human being would have. But then you also have Vince McMahon just looking at him and going, "Ha, get good, scrub." Like, that's
pretty much.
Pretty much. I mean, we could. I know. And we always and I feel bad. Like on here, we always degenerate into. You really liked that one, didn't you?
Oh my god, that was so funny.
The
good scrub.
Good scrub. Like. It just like we always end up degenerating into bashing on Vince McMahon and WWE, and like for anyone who's listening, don't get us wrong, we don't wanna wanna like WWE because it's what all of us grew up on, Yeah. I mean, the Monday Night Wars, but they make it incredibly difficult, and it's just silly. But I'm looking for. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna say I have one last thing for you. This isn't WWE bashing. This is a really kind of thing, and I want you to let this sink in. remember not long ago how we had all that controversy with Ric Flair and his mini woo?
Yeah.
Now apparently Mark Madden must have missed that fucking memo or just doesn't care, because him and Ric Flair, as of Monday, will be debuting a new podcast called Woo Nation. Let that sink in.
All right, I've had enough.
Right. Well,
Enough.
That's
if
it.
I say the podcast is over, the podcast is over. Good luck to everybody on the Chooserweight Open. Hopefully we get some interesting numbers that come in here. Hopefully we get some interesting picks. And, hopefully it won't be a case of peaked eyebrows at the end. If it is, good on them. If it's not, hopefully somebody outside the P3 gets a chance to wield that singles title over their head, as opposed to one of us, or as opposed to it being outside as a tag team title. Poot, take us home. Let's get rid of this Survivor Series talk bullshit.
I agree. Sponsors, we thank them all. Casual Gaming Dad, our very own Tiger Bomb Tom, and his page Casual Gaming Dad on Facebook. Watch all the games and such and stuff. That's a lot of fun. Again, search on Casual Gaming Dad. You can also find him on the YouTubes and also on the Twitches at Casual Gaming Dad 84 and Casual Gaming Dad. You can also I went full ransom. You never go full ransom.
Don't ever. I don't even like to go full ransom. Please don't. It's best for your health if you don't.
Yeah, I agree. My heart can't handle it, nor can my liver.
Think of your heart blood.
Oh, my
How
heart
dare
blood.
you.
I got to think about my heart blood. We also want to thank Gold Gaming for having the P3 podcast t-shirt. You can get your very own over on Casual Gaming Dad's page on Gold Gaming. Again, that's goldgaming.com, and search on Casual Gaming Dad. He also has a lot of really cool merchandise. Make sure you check it out. We also want to thank Frig Off Ransom, our very own resident madman, Alec Ransom, and his page on YouTube. It's Frig Off Ransom, and you go and check that one out. He's hilarious. He makes me lol all the time. When I'm having a bad day, I get a good solid lol out of Ransom every single time. I also want to thank Mr. Sean Tischler and his work with wrestling in Central Pennsylvania. We're seeing indie shows coming back up all the time. Boys, we got to make that happen here in the near future. Go to an indie show.
Yes.
Pittsburgh Wrestling Classic for IWC is Saturday, December 4th. If you're in the southwestern PA area, go down to Elizabeth, PA, down to the Sports Time Court Center. And even if you can't make it down there, you can watch it online. I don't remember the exact website, but look it up. Search up IWC Wrestling and figure it out, dum-dums.
Yeah.
There you go. I
Live
like
on
it. I love it.
pay-per-view.
Live on pay-per-view. For myself, Poot the Bard, baby. For Casual Gaming Dad himself, Mr. Tiger. Come on, Tom. Give me one for old time's sake.
Uppercut.
Bomb Tom. I love it. It's great. The Madman himself, Alec Ransom, and our person who is not here right now, but still in our hearts and sending us some of the best news. The encyclopedia of wrestling knowledge and acumen, Mr. Beef the Legend. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Goodbye.
Suck it easy, big dumb Greg.